Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Israel Wake Up. This is our Wednesday night class, the 6th of January, 2021. We're going to do our moment of silence with a prayer and current events, read the Psalms, and I'm going to do a little update on Africa, a couple of videos. And what we'll be talking about later is protesters in the White House. Okay. Oh Lord, we thank you for your great mercy and for your great power and wisdom. We tarry, waiting for your powerful deliverance of your people Israel. Oh Lord, you have given us insight into the scriptures of our forefathers. You, oh Lord, has directed us who you are and your role in the goings on of heaven and earth. We come this day doubtless that you will appear and that you will gather your nation from among these wicked Gentiles. Oh Lord, you spoke through your prophet Isaiah and said that you would help Abraham's seed that you have scattered. You have completed that promise as of this day. You said, oh Lord, that you would remove the darkness from around us. Tarry not, oh Lord. The latter days are here, and we are waiting and watching, and we need you very much, oh Lord. Peace be on you. Okay. So, anybody got any current events? No current events. Okay.
Prophets of Awakening will be back up and running, what, next week?
Got 13th.
13th, okay.
Yeah.
Current enough.
There's some. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know if everybody know about it, but they had a bunch of Trump supporters storm the White House today, and they put a delay on them voting for the electoral votes, making them valid. So what I'm gonna do right here is play a video of it, and then we'll talk about it.
Taken a violent and tumultuous turn in the past few hours, as thousands of supporters of President Trump stormed the US Capitol building, venting their anger at the victory of Joe Biden in the presidential election. They forced the evacuation and lockdown of Congress itself, where lawmakers were all set to approve the election result. Shortly before the clashes, President Trump had addressed his supporters near the White House, telling them that he would never accept defeat. Within the past hour, President-elect Biden called on Mr. Trump to tell his people to go home, and within minutes, that was indeed the message delivered from the White House. We'll be live on Capitol Hill shortly. First, we'll have this report by our North America editor, John Sopel.
The peaceful transfer of power, the cornerstone of American democracy, seemed a highly abstract concept today. As Trump supporters clashed with police as they tried and succeeded to storm the Congress, where America's elected leaders had gathered to certify the election victory of Joe Biden. Earlier, in a rally outside the White House, Donald Trump encouraged his loyal base to fight to overturn the result of this bitterly contested election.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
Many of his supporters needing little encouragement to join the fight.
We're here to support, if violence happens, like it happens, but we're not going to start it. We're just here to defend ourselves. Yeah.
So say that again. I'm a Mexican immigrant. I support Trump. Freedom is paid for with blood, and tyranny always masquerades itself as safety and security. And that's what we're fighting against right now.
Outside the Capitol, the outer ring of security had been breached. The crowds had taken Donald Trump at his word, and they were taking the fight to the heart of American democracy. They were literally banging on the doors of Congress. And then some Trump supporters managed to get inside. They were armed and wandering the Capitol building. There were tense and violent scenes with police who have never dealt with anything like this. These pictures appear to show a woman protester being shot inside the Capitol building. A stretcher was sent in. She was later given CPR. A protester breached the inner sanctum of the chamber. The vice president had to be removed to safety by his Secret Service detail. And then the joint session was adjourned. Earlier, the Republican Senate leader, for so long a loyal lieutenant of the president, turned on him with this withering assessment.
This election were overturned by mere allegations from the losing side, our democracy would enter a death spiral. We'd never see the whole nation accept an election again. Every 4 years would be a scramble for power at any cost.
And the vice president, who's officiating over this joint session and has shown Donald Trump near slavish loyalty, also said it was not his role to overturn the verdict of the people. My oath to support and defend the Constitution constrains me from claiming unilateral authority to decide which electoral votes should be counted. And he went on, the presidency belongs to the people and to them alone. And the president-elect has gone on television to warn that American democracy is under unprecedented assault. And he made this appeal.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege, to storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest, it's insurrection.
Donald Trump has spoken. He called on his supporters to stand down. But condemnation, there was none.
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special.
The chamber has emptied. Democracy put on hold. Outside, they were scaling the ramparts. The mob, for the moment, in charge, believing they have the right to overthrow the will of the people. Tonight, on the Hill, as America likes to describe itself, feels as though the light of democracy is flickering dangerously. John Sokol, BBC News, Washington.
John's reporter will be talking to him in now in Washington, D.C. tonight. The president's message has been delivered. He's told people to go home. Some people have, but as we can see, there are plenty of people still around the Capitol Hill, still wanting to make their protests heard, still wanting to urge members of Congress not to ratify the election result. That's despite by...
Okay, you don't have your bags packed. You need to get them packed.
Yes, sir.
Capitol saying that this protest is wrong. So those are the live images. What I'd like to do now is bring in two colleagues. One of them, who's outside Capitol Hill there, Ali Makboul, and one inside, who's Lebo Diseko. We'll come to Lebo in a second. But Alim, first of all, could you bring us up to date? What's happening there, and have the police drafted in more help by now?
Well, there was a lull for an hour or so. There were hundreds of protesters all the way up the steps of the building on every side, right up to the doors of the Capitol. As I say, there was a lull. Just as you were watching that report, in the last few minutes, the police finally started to use sound bombs and some form of tear gas, and you might be able to make out that they've cleared one level of the steps outside the Capitol building. Still lots of people still here. I was trying to get a sense through speaking to several of the people who stormed the building earlier, whether this was something that was planned. And actually, they said they were inspired by the words of the president who spoke earlier in the day to take back their country. And so they marched down here, but they saw that there was so little security, they said, they felt it was easy to overwhelm that security, and they found themselves inside the building. They started knocking on doors. They entered into the chamber, but they said it hadn't been a plan, but they said they will continue to make their presence felt until the election result, they say, is overturned in a bid to do what the man they follow is telling them to do, which is to take back their country. This is what they translate that to be.
Aline, thank you very much. And still the action ongoing, as Aline was telling us there. We're still hearing it in the background. Let's go inside the building, and Lebo is there for us. You've been there all the while, Lebo, and I'm just wondering what you made of the scenes we saw earlier on and what's going on there right now. I can see that you've gone to a quieter area for the moment, but what's going on?
Well, Hugh, we've been on lockdown here in these Capitol buildings for almost 4 hours now. Many of the people that I'm with actually work in these buildings. They work in the House of Representatives. I was speaking to a couple of women who have been watching these scenes playing out on the TV. They actually work here, saying to me that they were shocked at the level of disrespect for the democratic institutions of this country, seeing people with their feet up on the table of members of the House's desks. They're not even allowed to touch the desks on the floor. They saw them strewn around and treated with utmost disrespect, they said. I also spoke to a gentleman who works for a member of the House of Representatives. I asked him how he felt that now that Donald Trump has told his supporters to go home, he said it's too little, too late. He called this an assault on the democratic institutions of this country. So, I mean, the general feeling here has gone from palpable shock to stunned disbelief, really, here.
Lebo, many thanks once again. And for the latest there on the scene for us inside the Capitol. In another part of DC, Washington, DC, we have John Sopel, our North America editor, whose report we saw earlier on. John, can we start first of all with the real significance of the scenes that we've been witnessing today in Washington, D.C. It was insurrection, according to Joe Biden. What else have people been telling you?
I think people are stunned, shocked, amazed. Clearly, the security services have got some...
Edomite. See that? Edomite.
Pretty
you mean like a Jew?
Why they weren't readier for what
See
happened and what unfolded? I think there is just this palpable sense of disbelief that America, which likes to lecture the rest of the world on how to be a good democratic society, is seeing its own shining beacon kind of looking rather tattered by what has unfolded today. And I think the politicians have got to ask themselves some pretty tough questions about whether they have contributed to this. Donald Trump saying, on the one hand, look, we love you, to the protesters, you're very special, but saying they've got to obey law and order. Well, Donald Trump at the same time is saying, no, we're not going to obey the laws that have been litigated. This has been to the courts 62 times, and they have found no evidence of fraud in this election.
It's 2 weeks just about to Inauguration Day, John, and that's the time clearly when Donald Trump is leaving office, against his will, we know, but leaving office at that point. When he told his protesters in that clip we saw earlier to go home, would that for you be the moment where he kind of signaled that he knew that this protest is up?
Well, that is what I think is the central contradiction of the Donald Trump message, which is you can't say we believe in law and order and we're asking you to fight and stay strong, which is what he said in his speech outside the White House earlier on today to all those supporters. And I was very struck by just how totally 100% those tens of thousands of people believe that the election was stolen, that Joe Biden is a Chinese puppet of the Communist Party, that fraud has gone on a massive scale. These people have been told that, fed that on a diet for weeks. Now telling them to go home may be a little bit late in the day for that sort of change in behaviour.
John, we'll have another word in a short while. Thank you very much. John Sopel there, our North America editor, with the latest in Washington.
Okay. You got any comments?
It's like a script out of a Disney movie.
With us, Rachel.
Hold up.
I think everyone wants to hear your thoughts on what we're watching, but let me just throw out a couple more things that I've heard from national security officials that I talked to.
Okay.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Huh? Shalom,
What
shalom.
What you saying?
I said for me, it's just like a script out of a Disney movie. And they must really think that we're dumb and that we can't see. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that do not see this as a psyop.
Well, they what they were saying, like Joe Biden said, it's an insurrection. But like I said, this ain't nothing. That's just the beginning of it. I keep on saying. I mean, look at those 26 guys that he pardoned. All them guys are political people. I'm thinking he's gonna try to do a coup.
I think. Well, I mean, all he has to do, my understanding, all he has to do is call for martial law, and that shuts down.
But he can't just say martial law. There's actually got to be chaos in the streets.
Well, I mean, did you see the White House?
Yeah, but that was they brought that under order. It's got to be. It's like in every city, just about everywhere, everybody's strapping and doing whatever. But yeah, that's what I say. It's gonna be. He got something else coming. He got something else planned.
I think he's sending a message.
And then, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying I think he's sending a message, a loud message.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's just like the Edomite that was talking just now. He already knows what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's how they operate. They already know. It's like they at the World Trade Center. They said they had recorded these group of Edomites standing over there in the corners. They had lawn chairs and all that. They knew what was going to happen with the World Trade Center.
Right.
They thought danger and all that after it happened. They already knew it was going to happen. They got them marine side seats to see it.
Right. And this may sound kind of strange, but for me it's a little bit exciting because I want to see, I just want to see the door open for the Lord of Hosts to come on the scene. I mean, as a believer, as a person that's walking in the truth, we know that is the climax.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So for years, since I've come into the truth, wondering, how it's going to all go down, and knowing that, these are the prerequisites for the Lord of Hosts. That's the way I see it. I know that, there may be some, some bloodshed and some death, but not for the Hebrew Israelites, not for the real ones. So I'm just really, and everybody is so serious, and I'm serious too. But it's like I feel like I have knowledge that maybe not everybody else has, and so there's a part of me that's like, yes, come on, Lord of Hosts,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they are. I mean, like I said, they got they're telling you stuff right there, and when he's talking, but you have to already be aware of it. We are already saying how that it's going to be the Chinese that's going to release us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, you heard what the guy just said. What the Trump is saying and the protesters are saying, Joe Biden in the pocket of the Chinese.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this thing they've been talking about forever about his son. It's got to do with China.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we already seen it lit up the Empire State Building with the Chinese flag.
Okay.
The writing on the wall.
Yes, it is.
And so Ezekiel 38 it's two nations that he's gonna deal with that's gonna come up against us in the end, Gog and Magog. Well, Biden in the pocket of China. Well, who pocket was Trump in?
Russia.
They go God and make God right there.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Yes.
No,
Come on.
yeah. So
could you say a little bit more about Biden's connection to China and what that implies?
well, it's a process that's been in place for forever. It's just coming to a head. China is, you know, like I say, the New Testament, all these clowns did over there in Alexandria, Egypt, Philo and Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger, all them wrote that down. Now we over here arguing back and forth with each other about a bunch of faggots wrote. They just wrote it down. It ain't the script, the words ain't real. They just wrote it down and they made us, scared us and made us believe it. And we quoting it, but it's just something they wrote down. Was in the Tanakh when it says, "Thus saith the Lord." I deal with them. Them clowns just wrote something down. So they keep on telling us, got us thinking America's still in control. They're just saying that. But look at what's going on. China the one throwing money all over the place, all over the world. China ruling the world. They just saying America ruling it. America already been gone. It's just a matter of them coming out in the open and doing it.
Kind of like a changing of the guard.
Yeah, they already changed the guard. They just talking us because they got us dumbed down and just saying, China's coming up in on the world scene. All that now, China already running the world. They throwing too much money around. We just watched the video where all the companies that they done bought, the Chinese companies. Chinese own it. How they come in the power? They already in power. They already running everything. They just gotta fool the masses of the people because now it's a global. We dealing with a global situation, not back like when the Medes and Persians was on the scene. They got a blanket over the whole world. It's a global blanket. Got the whole world dumbed down, so they can't just do one thing in one little area and then don't do something somewhere else. They ruling the whole world, so they have to the trick got to be on the whole world when they do it. It'd be like it was back in the day when Cyrus came in and overtook Babylon. Now when it changed the guard, it's a global thing. It's a global takeover. China been done that. That was before even 2008 when America collapsed in 2008. China was already ruling then.
So let me ask you.
Bought up all the real estate, China.
Right. So let me ask you. You know this group that is loyal to Trump. I forget they call them some kind of boys.
Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys. Do you think that they are a kind of militia that could actually get out of control, or they are part of the PSYOP?
Well, like I said, all you gotta do is look at go back and look at them when they had a lynching. Them the same people. I was talking to somebody the other day about it. When you break down Proud Boy, what's a Proud Boy? It's an average everyday white boy with a pickup truck with lifts on the truck.
So redneck.
That's all over the place. They all over the place. All the rural areas all over the country. That's the Proud Boys.
Okay.
So what that means? That's the militia.
Okay.
So that's the ones out in the woods with the camps and stuff out in the woods. Then you keep on fast forward that. I mean, I didn't talk to everybody on the line about it. I don't know if they know about it, but I told you about the King Alpha plane.
Right.
So what is saying the King Alpha plane? What was the last result? Right before they call martial law, they're gonna deputize the militia. That's what the Proud Boys is. That's why they can knock out the windows in the White House and nobody don't do nothing to them.
Yeah, it's just that scene was just unbelievable because you have to ask yourself, how in the world do they get on the Senate floor? There's no way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was set up.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's look at that. You got that other group, that black militia group that been marching around in Louisville and went to Atlanta and all that. So bring them on the scene with all the chaos that's going on right now. Bring them on the scene. What's gonna happen? The same white boys that's fighting against the people up in the White House. Them two groups gonna come together and fight against the blacks.
Well, that guy done sabotage his own thing because he talked against his second in command. So the second in command ain't second in command no more because the first in command can't do jack because they took his weapons.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, if they was come on the scene, or any black group come on the scene, like Black Lives Matter, and they get into all our confrontation, then the Power Boy is gonna turn and side with the other white folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Bet that. So that Kenyatta playing right there. He said they're gonna deputize the militia. The final result is to bring in the military, bring in the law enforcement, and deputize the militia.
Yeah.
So you ain't never heard about it, just go and Google, go into YouTube and put in Kenyatta playing and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the governor of Virginia is sending National Guard to DC, and I thought that they had things under control, but it's actually kind of like the calm before the next big thing, because I don't really see a reason right now for them to be sending all these National Guard and tons of state troopers to DC, because they know the next step. They're getting ready to do the next step.
Right, exactly. But hey, you got to look at it. This ain't never happened before, so they got to be going somewhere with this.
Right.
This ain't never happened before, but it's a all this is a plan, and it's unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
All that happened. America got to go away. Like I said, the prize is Africa. United States of Africa. They through with this place.
Yes.
It's a Frankenstein monster. Just like what Frankenstein did when he created the monster, then they told him, man, you got to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, you through with him. He out of control. Just now it's time to kill him, because they're going to Africa. The money made over here ain't nothing compared to the money they getting ready to make.
Yes, I was about to say, they gave the anesthetizing of the people. The stimulus was the medicine to calm them down so they could start their plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, they playing both sides against each other. Like like I said, the guy David Icke saying how you got KFC and Wendy's, and then you wonder how they getting along everywhere you go. Every town you go in, KFC right on the side of Wendy's.
Yeah.
They ain't in no war against each other. Well, what's the deal? The same man own KFC and Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
So ain't no competition. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing with the Democrats and the Republicans. It's one group. But they got us looking at it as two different groups, but it's the same group. Pushing the same agenda. They just got you thrown off thinking it's two different groups. Just like I said about the NSA. Russia, China, and America been working together when it comes to security and all this type of technology they got. They've been working together because they're the same. It's a higher power over them, and they all working together.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said before, how can all the companies back in the late 70s, Caterpillar, and people don't even think about it, but you don't see those things no more. You don't see
those big machines. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, because they all went to China, and like I said, who running everything now? China, because they all working together. And all them same companies is the ones funded Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
So there ain't nothing new under the sun. They're working together. They just got us. They got us bamboozled.
Well,
it ain't nothing new. Excuse me. Ain't nothing new what they did with the Old New Testament. But go ahead.
Well, you said Hitler, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Hitler kill off the Jewish people?
Yeah, but that's the other level of the game I'm trying to explain to you is that they all that stuff been playing, and they got the people fooled thinking that Hitler was a Jew. So what was the purpose of Hitler killing all the Jews? They let me read it. I don't want to just be talking. So let's go in. So the Most High said, the Lord of hosts said, in a leaf that fall off a tree, he don't know nothing about.
Right.
So anything we talking about, the Lord of hosts know about it. Heaven know about it. So on in Malachi. Malachi, chapter 1. Let me know when you get it.
Malachi 1.
Okay.
Got it.
So it says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein as thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Lord, yet I love Jacob. So see how Esau come out of nowhere? So you have to ask yourself, what Esau got to do with this conversation? So verse 3, and I hate Esau, and I laid his mountain and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So where was he at when he done this? Verse 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Verse 5, I'm gonna tell you where they was at when he done this. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say, the Lord shall be magnified in the borders of Israel. So this was in 70 AD. He told them they came in there and stole the land in Obadiah, just like Israel came in there with wickedness, and he ran them out with Antioch Epiphanes. He used Titus and Vastaphen to run them out in 70 AD. But they said right here, verse 4, whereas Edom said, see, only a diabolical person would say this. Only Edom, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we're going to return. You ran us out of here in 70 AD, but we coming back. So they came back in 1948.
Right.
How? They said Hitler loved to kill a bunch of Jews so everybody feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Then they made a backdoor agreement behind why everybody else in the Great Depression, they made a backdoor deal for the land of Israel.
And started flying them over there.
Just like you said right here, Malachi, they returned, they back there.
Yes.
But what the Lord host said, when you come back though, I'm gonna tear it down again.
Yes,
right.
I gotta bring my people back. So what is that saying? The whole world be hoodwinked with the New Testament and these fake Jews. So they think that prophecy happened in 1948, that Israel returned. That ain't Israel. So when the Lord hosts come back, the lion that rose up out of the forest, when he come back and knocked him off, the whole world gonna be looking crazy as hell.
Right.
Yeah. They gotta go to.
Yeah.
But all he doing is clearing the way to bring the real Israelites back.
That's right.
And
that's when the conversation gonna get dire.
And then also, all the white names like Matthew, Mark, Luke, all those are white people. Those aren't Hebrew names.
Right. That's one of the ways to identify that's a bogus book.
Exactly.
And so what like it's two things that Israelites do. And like I say, when you see them doing it, they half-ass awake. They say they're awake, but they ain't. They half-ass awake. So you're gonna take the man named John. I know a bunch of white Johns all right now. I ain't trying to change John name to Jehoiakim. You trying to make him a Hebrew name? Shit, come on.
Right.
Amen.
Jesus, they got a cross, and we know it's dung. Everything around the cross is dung. How the hell the cross ain't dung?
Come on.
And so what I'm saying is, Yahweh, Jesus the Christ. Now you done turned him into Yahweh. You gave him a Hebrew name.
Right. Didn't change his skin color. I mean, what? Come on now.
If you're doing that, you half-ass away. You ain't away. Come on. So, what? Somebody else got something?
Said, did you say that Hitler was not a Jew?
Yeah, he was a Jew. He was tied to the Rothschilds. They had primed him for what he done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I was saying before, once you start figuring this stuff out, you be wanting to go and hit yourself in the head with a hammer because you ain't seen it. So they came right back and did the same thing with Napoleon. They making thousands and thousands, millions and billions of dollars off of that. When they brought Hitler on the scene, tore everything up just like a hurricane. A hurricane. Yeah. They sitting back waiting on the hurricane to come because they're gonna make millions of dollars off of the reconstructing everything.
Right.
So they bring this clown on the scene, tear up all these countries in all the place, then come back with a rebuilding effort and make trillions of dollars off of it.
Right.
They did the same thing with Napoleon. And then they restructuring the money situation around the world to make more money. That's all that is. What they're doing. That's what they're doing right now.
And so what about the tsunamis and stuff that tore up Haiti?
They sent it. They got. Yeah. I mean, like I was saying before, when you start telling people about this type of stuff, they don't understand. They got a place called HAARP over in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
H period, A period, R period. I mean H period, A period, A period, R period, P period.
Mm-hmm.
High Aurora or something. It's a system like Star Wars system, and they can send a beam from this. They got this place over like 150 acres with all these powerful antennas on it, and they send a beam up to this satellite, and then that satellite send a beam to the ionosphere. Then they can send it back down to the earth to anywhere they want and cause an earthquake.
And also, change the weather.
What's that?
They manipulate the weather. I mean, we can have sunshine one day and then snow the next day. Come on.
Right. But like I said, because we don't understand all this stuff, we looking at the weather, how weird it is, especially people that's older. You saying this wasn't like this back in the day. Why is it doing all this now? But not understanding that they manipulating it. So they take that same beam and they can shoot it in the ocean in front of a tropical system.
Yes.
The tropical system only intensifies from heat. So they shoot this beam down in front of this system and heat the water up.
Yes.
So it's just like you ever seen when a girl dog and a other dog getting heat, the girl dog take the boy dog where she want him to go. Eating right on down where she want. So you take that hot water, heat it up, and you leave that system where you wanted to go.
Right.
You didn't see how Laura and Delta they follow the same path because they're controlling all this. They got a like I say, they can shoot that beam and they just mark the depth to go in the earth to a certain area, especially that area already volatile. It's got history from being volatile. They shoot that beam right there and start a hurricane, start an earthquake.
Right. I don't remember.
You don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just like the World Trade Center. When have you ever seen a building fall like that? Come on, man, that was a demo job. Right down, to where it don't mess nothing else up.
Right.
It's crazy. But like I said, because they have us most people so dumbed down, they're not paying attention to none of that stuff. They know the spirit that's in them telling them if something ain't right, but they can't pinpoint it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And I'm sorry.
Virgin birth. Go ahead. It's just like the virgin birth.
Yeah. And the powers that be, these 1% families that rule the world, they don't mind a few thousand casualties to get done what they want to do.
Right. That's what they did with the Jews. And then they blow that up. That's how they got back there. They said 6 million got killed. Wasn't no 6 million. But,
Right.
but that's how they got back. And right to this day, they started getting money every year, reparation money from Germany and America, all over the place for that.
Yes, and got Holocaust museums everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it's a lie.
So you got to ask yourself, what's going on? So the Most High said that when we leave here, we was gonna leave here with great substance. Well, all they did is they done made it look like it's them.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like with when you start looking at the World Trade Center came in 2001, right?
Right.
Then the American economic system collapsed in what month? What year?
2008.
What? 1 and 8 is what? 1 minus 8. I mean 8 minus 1.
7.
Ain't that how the Most High work?
Yeah.
6 years you work the ground and then 7 years rest.
Right.
So they got us throwed off and took our understanding from how the Most High work and our culture, and they using it against us.
Mm.
They're playing the role of the Lord of Hosts and Yahweh.
Yes.
Everything they do is every 7 years.
Right.
They call them Shemitas.
Mm.
But like I said, people ain't paying no attention to all that. They're not, unless somebody shine a light on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go look do the research. There it is, multiples of 7. All the chaos that happened come in multiples of 7.
Mm-hmm.
They playing the role of Yah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's gonna come like the Tasmanian devil when he come back.
Yes.
Tear up everything because they wicked as hell. And so back to like I said before, I'm gonna do this on Friday, but I'm gonna mention this right here. So ain't no way. I know you keep hearing me saying that, but ain't no way in hell Ham, Shem, and Japheth is Noah's sons.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at their countenance. Japheth white.
Right.
Then like the brother said the other day, when you pay attention, the African don't look like the Hebrew.
Right.
They both of them men of color, but their features they don't look the same. They're the same. So all you gotta do is look at your family. It was 13 of us in our family, and my mom and dad. Anybody can come from anywhere and see and look at either one of us and say, that's Mac's son.
Mm-hmm.
Mac's daughter. That's Christine's son. That's Christine's daughter. You can't do that, no Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Japheth white.
Right.
Ham there ain't none Noah's sons.
Right.
You gotta get that out your head.
Mm-hmm.
Man, none Noah's sons. Shem is his son. Yeah.
And Leonard, when you look back at the historical story of the nation of Israel, they have always manipulated the DNA.
Right.
Esau has always manipulated the DNA to accomplish, to hide himself and to continue his wickedness.
Right, and then he took himself out the story. That's what people not understanding. The reason why all this Ham, Shem, and Japheth Noah's sons, because through that he hid himself. Because the first thing, if somebody tell you it's a swamp creature down in Louisiana, hell, you ain't going to Louisiana.
Right.
So same thing with this. If you would know that Cain is a product of the serpent sleeping with Eve, and he got a lineage on the earth, then you're gonna try to find out where they at.
That's right.
You don't want to hear nothing they got to say. You don't want to talk to them. So they hid them. They hid themselves, and they hid through the lie they tell about Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Then Esau also hid himself. He got everybody thinking Esau disappeared off the planet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
this
Rome,
whole. Go ahead.
Rome is Edom.
Huh?
Rome is Edom. Rome is the Edomites. The 4 beasts is Esau.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another aspect of our history that's huge, but we don't often talk about it, and that is this whole missionary thing. Sending missionaries into you know, into Africa, sending missionaries around the world. Those were Edomites. They said,
let's look at that. Let's look at that. Because like I said, right here in the scriptures, I mean Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter let me get it. Genesis chapter 4, verse 10.
4 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I say, if you don't know that Cain is the serpent's son. That's why he wicked as hell. So it says, verse 10, 4 and 10, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother crieth unto me from the ground, right? And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. So Cain was it tells you that Adam, the man he formed on the 8th day, was a tiller of the ground. You see, right. The tiller of the ground. Cain, a tiller of the ground. So the earth is the reason why we got dark skin, the melanin in the earth. That's how we got dark skin. So he cursed Cain right here. What is Cain? A tiller of the ground. Well, when he cursed him, now the earth don't want to have nothing to do with him.
Right.
So he ain't got that green finger no more. So let's look at that. 11 says, and now art thou cursed from the earth. See that? Which have opened the mouth to receive thy brother's blood. Right here, because he done this, he don't have no connection with the earth no more. When thou tilleth the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her. Here go the woman right here. Her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. Now watch this. Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. So what he did was he took the melanin out of him, turned him white. So, that's the mark. So 14 said, behold, thou hast driven me out this day. See what he said? From the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Right? So there go your answer right there. So like you said, what he doing? He ain't got no connection with the earth. So through Christianity, he going all these different parts of these lands, still in the land. See that? What's a fugitive and a vagabond? What they do? They wander from one place to the next.
Yeah, like a nomad.
But the earth don't have nothing to do with him. So he's a invasive species, and he's going around using Christianity that he can concoct it to steal everybody's land.
Yes. Yes.
Like he said, he go there to the king and the people, and then he hook with the king get baptized, they dunk him under the water. When they bring him back up, somebody else got the land.
Exactly.
Come on.
You know, one of the major components of all of these majorly European religions is they own massive land.
Right. The Vatican.
You know, yes. The Catholic Church and
it's all about the land. They ain't got nothing to do with the land. And then, like I said, you gotta look at them, and you saying you can't figure out how they get, where they get how you get all the land.
Right.
And you got all the money, and you don't even they can have a truckload of gold on, they don't even look right with the gold on. They don't look right with no gold on.
Right.
Because there ain't none of theirs.
Right. And Leonard, what are your thoughts? Every 50 years, the Queen from England comes to America. So the whole Boston Tea Party must have been a farce. They never got independence from England.
Oh no, that's what I say. That's what I'm saying. They've been using things, and nobody never exposed them, so they still using them. So like I said, they say that. They wrote it down and told you that, but that ain't the truth. They're like the New Testament. They wrote all that down, but it just dust in the wind. We the ones believing it.
Right. Yeah. It's a matrix.
Right. And so once you figure out that this Cain seed, and then so you go back. You think YouTube came on the scene when it did just for the hell of it? Everything they say, you just go to YouTube.
Right.
Google it and get the real information. Because They don't know thinking like a Hebrew. They don't know what you're going to Google. So they can't hook wink it because what you coming up with is coming from the Most High. So they can't go hook wink what you looking for, because you're going in a whole different place. That's what's happening now with the in the Christian church, and when these conversations start happening, the Christian or the pastor want to holler about, I know where you're going. No, you don't know where I'm going.
Right, right.
I'm not following the system that you got, that you was given to you.
Right.
I'm Most High dealing with me. I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
You know, yeah. So that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, I was showing you how that I played the video on the guys protesters went to DC, but I'm gonna show you what this guy the one that broke the case on Nixon, Watergate. He had something to say this on Monday. Let me play. I gotta set it up. Okay.
I'm line with CNN political analyst and legendary Watergate journalist Carl Bernstein. And Carl, pretty fitting that we have you on this morning. Obviously, the Nixon tapes were part of the ultimate demise of the Nixon presidency, but you say the tape that we heard this weekend from President Trump calling the Georgia Secretary of State, asking him to find 11,870 votes or 780 votes, you say it's even worse than the Nixon tapes. Why? What makes this so bad?
As the President of the United States, we are listening in real time to the President propose that there be a conspiracy to steal the election for the presidency of the United States. A coup, whatever word we choose to use. A dangerously out of control, unstable President of the United States provoking a constitutional.
Now, I've been saying that. You've been hearing me say that last 3 weeks about a coup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Crisis. And it's no accident that the generals, in particular, and the Defense Department officials are aware and are now saying
that's how you take bring a coup about through the generals.
The gravest threat to the national security of the United States that we have. This is unprecedented. It is extraordinary. And it is time for the Republican leadership and the Democratic leadership of the Senate and the House to demand that this President of the United States resign immediately. If this had happened, if this tape were released at any other moment in our history, except Donald Trump's presidency, I think it's a very certain thing that the resignation of the President of the United States immediately would be demanded, or he would be impeached and convicted in the Senate post-haste.
Carl, these former defense secretaries who have taken it upon themselves to band together.
So these generals told them they need to get him out. They need to go on and make some kind of document up or whatever, and they need to get him out of there. Don't let it go all the way to January 20th. So that's telling you these generals know he's gonna try to do something. See that?
To write a public letter to the American public, basically sounding a cautionary note that there's no role for the military in election results. I mean, they're not putting it in as fine a point on it as you are. They're not saying that the president is a danger.
Those are the generals?
Generals and the secretary of people. But what I'm trying to get you to see is that same group you see right there. Well, that's the same group of people he just pardoned. They have they got the same condition, but they're just wicked as hell.
From some of those people's aides who have signed that letter, etc., people in the intelligence community, that there already has been something that Trump has done in the past few weeks that deeply, deeply troubled
they ain't talking about
the intelligence community, Joint Chiefs of Staff, the generals, some kind of provocative action somewhere in the world that he had to be talked down from instigating. Exactly what it is. We can speculate on trouble areas, Iran, the South China Sea, others. Something happened. Look, it has been a known fact that those closest to President Trump in his presidency in the national security area, his chiefs of staff, all concluded years and months ago that he was the principal danger to the national security of the United States, not our foreign adversaries. We also have his niece telling us about his mental state. The same kind of picture of him we've gotten from his principal aides who have left his presidency, but we've heard now from a family member. We are looking at a dangerously unstable president of the United States, such as we've never had, including Nixon, in the final days of his presidency, attempting to create a constitutional crisis to somehow hold into office in his desperation to selfishly exercise those followers of him, of himself, to do something provocative, dangerous, perhaps violent. It's time for the leadership of the Republican Party, especially Senator McConnell, to say, enough, Mr. President, we will not support you in any way. This is the shame of the Republican Party.
Yeah, over in the right-hand corner, that's the Edomite. See, look at the snarl, look at him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you got to start identifying them. You got to be able to identify them.
Right.
McConnell and his fellows in the Senate, particularly, who have enabled this president in his acts, unstable acts, dangerous acts, illegal acts, a criminal and a seditious president of the United States is what we hear.
But I mean, I don't mean to jump around, but so if you know anything about the Council of Nicaea, then the person that presided over the Council of Nicaea was Ebus. Ebus of Caesarea. Well, Caesarea, the Edomite, is the capital, the Herod bill, is the capital city. So Ebus was the Edomite. So what I'm trying to show you, they always there on the scene.
Yeah.
They're always there on the scene, but then he got you thinking that that nation Edom is gone and don't exist no more. Right here, they everywhere, right there, bringing everything right along.
Yeah, we need to ask the question: where are they descendants?
Right. But they right here. It's like just like you got. They keep saying shadow government, right? You got, right now we got a Biden going into the White House where he got a cabinet, right? Each one of them cabinet members got an undersecretary. That's an Edomite. So that's another government. You got the cabinet, the president and cabinet up here, but they ain't what's running it. It's that Edomite behind him.
Exactly. Like we rejoiced when President Obama got elected, but when he started picking his cabinet, it was all Edomites.
Right. Then like I said, look at Biden. Yeah, Obama was the president, but the man that was watching him, his handler, was Biden.
Right.
It's like, they put JFK up there. He was all charismatic and everything, but Lyndon B. Johnson was the diabolical one that was the vice president. He the one controlling him. So what these Edomites doing? Ain't that what the Lord of hosts did with Mordecai and Joseph?
Yeah.
Had them second in command?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
On this tape, proposing to steal an election, and if McConnell, McCarthy in the House cannot say, Mr. President, you have to go, you have to cease and desist. It is the shame of the Republican Party forever.
Carl, we have about 30 seconds left. What are you most concerned about in the next 15 and a half days?
Everything.
See that?
That the Republicans will not do what needs to be done, because that is the most effective thing that can be done to stop this president from his crazy utterings, actions. He needs to be told, he needs to be told by the leadership of his party that they are going to restrain him in every manner and keep him from exercising his powers. And otherwise, he should leave office, and they should demand it immediately.
So that's the Edomite too. So what is he doing? He telling you this is just like I was telling you about how you have they got geometry, sacred geometry. When they build buildings, they got these demonic numbers, and stuff they're doing, how they build a building. Then you come walking up there to the building, think it's just a regular building, but they got demons and all that they done summoned and all that around in the building, around it. You won't know all that. This is a trick right here. You see these three people, they actually give you information, but they're doing it like they're having some kind of conversation. So this dude just told you the next 15 days gonna be chaos.
Yes. Yes.
That Trump gonna do something. He telling you right there in your face. But they got it set up like this, like you ain't, like it's the two of them, all three of them delivering information that what's getting ready to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they work. They do that. They got she in the middle. They got one on each side, and they, it's some kind of old demonic art that they do. They deliver information. So on the news, that's all that is.
Right.
So Trump know all that because he up there, he in the high up. He know that. That's why he say that. The news. He got a problem with the news. He know how it works. They're telling you, this dude right here, Bernstein, telling you what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna change this. I'll pick this off here. Go ahead. What you say?
Speaking of their demonic ways, one of the things about them, they like to do stuff in plain sight. They like to tell you what they're gonna do.
Right.
Okay.
And they do the codes.
Mm-hmm. And just like with we go back to the churches. These churches have these steeples on top of them. That's demonic.
Right.
The archways. I don't know where I learned this. I can't remember now. But
Ani.
Yes.
Is a woman's vagina.
Yes.
And the steeple on top is the main piece. Phallus that comes out of Egypt.
Yes.
It's all the sacred geometry.
Yes.
And they use that same stuff in the New Testament, down to a certain amount of words in a sentence and all that. That's why they show you the Edomite up in his tower with the light on, with the candle on. He up there going over one verse at a time, over and over and over again. He's doing that old sacred,
seance.
Yeah, he's doing all kind of stuff with that, and then that's why it's called a gospel.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
But like I said, you got to go in on your own and do the research on it, because you might say, "Oh, I'm a nutcase," but you gotta go do your research.
Right.
Yeah. So, anybody else got anything on that? Okay. What I'm going now is, I'm trying to keep you informed, because we see where we at. I'm trying to keep you informed on what's going on with because see, all this stuff right here keeping you blind to the fact what's happening in Africa, because that's where the prize is.
Mm-hmm.
In Africa. So I got a couple of short videos on what's going on in Africa, and you're gonna see why they done ran all up in the White House all of a sudden now, because of, check this out.
Get ready to trade as Africa welcomes the AFCFTA start of trading on 1st of January 2021. The African Continental
Free Trade Agreement already started. Now they tearing it up over here. Now it's time for us to go.
From our cities to our farmlands to all four corners of our great continent, we're a dynamic and fast-growing market of 1.2 billion people, with a combined GDP of at least $2.5 trillion. Eliminating most tariffs and cutting miles of red tape means exporting our goods within our continent will be cheaper and easier. It means business opportunities for millions of our people.
That money right there, they're going to get
millions more out of poverty, and generating jobs for our growing youth, empowering women, creating new value chains and supply chains to connect our SMEs, startups, and small traders to new business. Manufacturing, farming, it's Africa's industrial exports that will benefit the most. The AFCFTA will encourage us to modernize and mechanize so we can add value to our goods, strengthening Africa for the fourth industrial revolution.
Africa already strong.
Vision of a self-reliant and resilient Africa. The Africa we want.
Today is a very happy day for Mother Africa, and I'm grateful to Almighty God for the opportunity to be a part of this landmark historic event, the commencement of trading of the African Continental Free Trade Area. In August last year, I handed over a state-of-the-art office building to the African Union Commission to serve as the head office of the Secretariat of the AFCFTA. This constituted a very significant implementation milestone in the operationalization of the AFCFTA, following the AU's extraordinary summit held in the Republic of Niger on 7th July 2019, where Ghana was honored by her peers with the privilege of hosting the Secretariat. For many of us, past and present, who have waited patiently for this day, this ceremony represents an important step towards realizing the goal of continental integration. The manifestation of that enduring dream of the founding fathers of our union to create an economically integrated and sustainable continent capable of ending our dependency on foreign assistance and eradicating poverty by harnessing our considerable resources, human and natural, begins today. We're determined to enter into a new era of industrialization, and access now to a single continental market will be a game changer on that journey, as it will be the key to the ability of businesses on the continent to recover from the adverse effects of COVID-19 and proceed to grow and leverage on the new opportunities available in the new market. Trading amongst ourselves will be duty-free and quota-free, with a market of some 1.2 billion people and a combined GDP of some $3 trillion United States dollars. The AFCFTA will boost inter-African trade, stimulate investment and innovation, diversify exports, improve food security, foster structural transformation, enhance economic growth, and above all, provide jobs for the youth, as well as fresh impetus for African entrepreneurs. I'm confident.
So they need us to jump all that off. You have to understand that.
That the private sector, if actively supported by government, is capable and willing to be at the vanguard of this transformation. For us in Ghana, we have embraced fully this partnership between government and the private sector to ensure maximum benefit is derived from the AFCFTA. Indeed, a series of public sensitization forums across all 16 regions of the country have been organized to update the private sector on the implementation of AFCFTA protocol, the operational requirements for effective trading in the market, and preparations for the start of trade. Public education will be intensified further after the start of trade. I'm hopeful that the state parties which are yet to submit their market access offer, that is the tariff liberalization schedule, to the AU Secretariat, will do so by the end of January 2021. This will ensure full access to AFCFTA trading by all state parties. In addition, all outstanding issues related to the various AFCFTA operational instruments, which were launched in the 2019 AU Extraordinary Summit, should be finalized and made operational by the end of March 2021. These include the online platform for tariff negotiations, the Africa Trade Observatory, ATA, the digital payment and settlement systems, the online mechanism for reporting and monitoring of non-tariff barriers, the mobile application for AFCFTA business activity, the Mansa repository platform to serve as a centralized database for customer due diligence. And the
this is you want to watch the rest of it, it's like we have the 8 minute mark, so it's about 15 minutes. So it's the name of it is Ghana and South Africa's president on the newly launched African Continental Free Trade Area, the AFCFTA. So, you know, like I said, it's not a coincidence that what's happening over here and we see what's happening over there. They got all this stuff timed and plotted, you know, got it synchronized. Yeah. So if you want to see the rest of that, like I said, it's Ghana and South African president on the newly launched African Continental Free Trade Area. It's like 15 minutes. I'm gonna play this other video. Let me get it.
Shalom.
Okay.
Now I understand. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, now I understand. I mean, you know, the more you teach, the more we understand the degree to which these people are wicked. And I also understand why Ezekiel 37, why the army of the Lord of Hosts is going to be able to shoot fire, because you're not going to be able. These people are wicked. You can't shoot them.
Right. Oh yeah.
You gotta burn them.
Oh yeah. So it's just that he made a promise that he's not going to. He had a flood in Genesis 1:1. That's a flood. Yahweh and the Lord of Hosts returning to the earth. It's a flood. The whole earth covered with water. He calls a flood what according to what Satan had done. And then he brought another flood during the time of Noah. Then he made a promise to set the rainbow in the sky with Noah and said he's never going to do that again. He's going to burn it this time. That's why it's going to be fire.
Well, okay.
So so here goes some more things that's going on in Africa as far as you know, the average person don't know this stuff.
Welcome to this vlog and thanks for watching. In this video, we shall be taking you on a tour across the beautiful cities of West Africa. Africa is a large continent made up of 54 sovereign countries, and each of these countries offers unique experiences to travelers. There are thousands of cities in Africa. In this video, we shall be shedding the light on the most beautiful cities in West Africa. West Africa is the westernmost part of Africa. There are about 16 countries in West Africa and a total population of about 390 million people, with each country boasting of its own beautiful cities. While not every country is on the continent and also having the most beautiful cities in Africa, there are, however, cities that are really standing out and compete at the international scene. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Considering the fact that there are thousands of cities in West Africa, we are going to focus on the most outstanding ones. So without any further ado, here are the most beautiful cities in West Africa. Number 1, Lagos, Nigeria. Now, let's begin with the most popular city in Africa, Lagos. Until 1991, Lagos used to be the capital city of Nigeria, until it was moved to Abuja due to its rapid increase in population. The city covers a total surface area of about 1,171 kilometers square and a population of over 25 million people. Lagos is loosely classified into two geographical, the mainland and island. A huge population of Lagosians live on the Lagos mainland. The most industries are located there. The mainland is known for its music and nightlife, which used to be
so you see all the people, how the people all how these people, it's so many of them. So that's what they're looking at, the money part of it. Just like I said, thinking they go over there with a phone, cell phone. Each one of them get a cell phone. They dog rich after that. So that's what they're looking at it. But now what America made, what made America great and got rich was they was bringing those minerals from over there, from that country, bringing them over there. Now they sitting on top of the minerals in Africa over there. So the cost to transport it, that's gone.
Right.
And then somebody asked a question the other day about the youth. So Africa, the youngest country. Why? That's what they want.
Exactly.
When they put us up on the slave block, what he said?
Be young.
How old that buck is?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all out, they finna make money, unheard of money. You think they made money over here in America? They finna do the they finna really do the show out over there. But that's the hook. Let me read it. Let me read it before we go. See, like I said, Africans, I mean the Israelites didn't know. All they know was Joseph told them the Lord of hosts was gonna come get them. They ain't know the Most High was gonna food Pharaoh out in the Red Sea and drown him. They ain't know that. So let's look right here. I'm in Ezekiel 38.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a minute. Ezekiel 38. So he says, I'm starting at verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God and Magog, that's Russia and China, and chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against them. The Lord, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws. You know the hook. It's the hook right here. All this money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he know he got our records, and he know we the Israelites, and he know that we came from the Middle East, and that's our homeland. Our God that's where our God is. But he's so greedy, he got enough nerve to try to take. He gonna take us right next door to where our God is, thinking that he's still gonna be able to do what he gonna do. And like I said, if he had any sense, he'd take us to the Antarctic. But he's gonna take us right back over there, give us a free ride back over there where our God is. And he already told you what he's gonna do. So that's why let me read another verse. I'm in Obadiah. Name but one chapter in Obadiah. So he says in Obadiah, starting at verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? See, he greedy. If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? See, he's so greedy, he ain't leave no grapes. He got all, he got everything. 6. How are the things of Esau sought out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the borders. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a womb under thee. There is none understanding in him. Here we go, right here. Shall I not in that day, look at this, shall I not, this is the Lord of hosts talking, shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of the Mount of Esau? See, now he at the point where he ain't got no understanding. Why would you take the Israelites over there where they next door where they God is?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get all the wealth of the world and got fat, and he can't think straight. He took the understanding out of him. Like I said, if he had any understanding, you'd take them to the Antarctic,
right,
or Australia somewhere, not to the Middle East where they God is. Yeah.
However, in recent years, more nightclubs have sprung up on the island, making the island, particularly Victoria Island, Ikate, and Lekki Phase 1, the main nightlife attractions. Lagos Island contains a central business district. This district is characterized by high-rise buildings. The island also contains many of the city's largest wholesale marketplaces, such as the popular Idumota and Balogun markets. It also has the National Museum of Nigeria, the Central Mosque, the Grover Memorial Hall, and the Obas Palace. Another major part of Lagos Island is Marina. Neighborhoods in Lagos such as Ikoyi and Victoria Islands have some of the most beautiful houses in Africa, such as House Ikoyi, owned by Folorunsho Alakija. Some of the biggest African celebrities live in Lagos. Another remarkable feature of Lagos is the Lekki Ikoyi Bridge and the Third Mainland Bridge. Lagos is the entertainment hub of Africa, and as a result has some of the most beautiful and luxurious hotels as well as beautiful restaurants. The economy of Nigeria is mainly dependent on economic activities in Lagos. Lagos is definitely one of the cities in West Africa you absolutely need to visit and discover. Home some of the biggest couples, the Cali Stars Abidjan is one of the biggest cities in Africa for nightlife. There is a lot to see and do in Abidjan, and you won't regret your stay. Number 3, Accra, Ghana. Now let's move over to Ghana and explore the beautiful city of Accra. Accra is the capital of Ghana, covering an area of 225.7 square kilometers with an estimated urban population of 2.5 million. It is organized into 12 local government districts, 11 municipal districts, and the Accra Metropolitan District.
Yeah, they don't show the average person all this right here.
Accra usually refers to the Accra Metropolitan area, which serves as the capital of Ghana.
So and it took a while to do this. This ain't just happened overnight. They got us over in the dark, but look at what Africa looks like.
However, the terms Accra and City of Accra are used interchangeably. Accra is the Greater Accra region's economic and administrative hub and serves as the anchor of the larger Greater Accra metropolitan area, which is inhabited by about 4 million people, making it the 13th largest metropolitan area in Africa. In 2008, the World Bank estimated that Accra's economy only constituted around $3 billion of Ghana's total gross domestic product. The economically active population of Accra is estimated to be 823,327. Accra is one of the most peaceful cities in Africa and offers quite a few interesting tourist sites. It is also home to some of Ghana's top celebrities. A visit to Accra will leave you in awe. Number 4, Dakar, Number 7, Monrovia, Liberia. Monrovia is the capital city of the West African country of Liberia, located on the Atlantic coast at Cape Mesurado. Monrovia had a population of 1,010,970 as of 2008 census. With 29% of the total population of Liberia, Monrovia is the country's most popular city and the most beautiful city in the country, with a surface area of about 194.2 square kilometers. Monrovia's economy is dominated by its harbor, the free port of Monrovia, and as the location of Liberia's government offices. Monrovia's harbor was significantly expanded by U.S. forces during the Second World War, and the main exports include latex and iron ore. Attractions in Monrovia include the Liberian National Museum, the Masonic Temple, the Waterside Market, and several beaches. The city also houses Antoinette Tubman Stadium and the Samuel K. Doe Sports Complex sports stadiums. The arena at Samuel K. Doe is one of the largest stadiums in Africa, which seats for 40,000. The inhabitants of Liberia are extremely friendly, and the city has a lot to offer to inhabitants and guests. There you have it, explorers. Those were some beautiful cities of West Africa. Did you see?
Okay. Any comments?
I'm gonna hold off, let somebody else.
Okay. Let me see what I need to do. Okay. Yeah, so what we're gonna do right now is but I was like I said, I'm trying to keep everybody abreast to what's going on in Africa, try to give them some, let them know what's going on in Africa as well as what's going on over here, because these people got us into the dark, So yeah, so with that being said, we're gonna do a little Q&A before I close out, because people might have a question that they came across, based over the last 3 or 4 videos or whatever. Something was said and they needed some clarity on it. Anybody got any questions or comments about anything?
Shalom. I had sent yesterday a copy of that video that I was telling you all about at the beginning of the class. The name of it is Make Africa Great, and it's 2021 message to Africans. Know your Africa, the key to liberating our mind.
Okay.
I put it in the again just when I found it just now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I think your mic been disconnected some kind of way. I don't know if you can hear me. So, Amin, is our mic disconnected? It say device not connected.
Okay.
So anybody got anything else, any questions or comments about anything? We talk for a minute before I check out.
You had let's see, in your last teaching, you talked about you showed us that Esau always is associated with red.
Right. Most High tell you that.
Okay, and what does that red mean? Is that like shedding blood or something?
No, when he was born, he was red all over.
Right. So what does that imply?
That's how you identify him.
Okay.
And so we go example right here. Example is 63, Isaiah 63. So if that's how the Most High identify him, that's how I'm identifying. So I'm in 63.
What book?
Isaiah.
Okay.
Says, who is this? See, he calling him out. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bosra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red? See that?
Mm-hmm.
In thy apparel, in thy garments, like him that treadeth in the winepress. So see that? So that's how he's identifying him. So and then it's tied back to Edom means red. So it's tied back to when he sold his birthright for the pottage, the red pottage.
Okay.
Right.
So that's a way to identify him.
Right. He gonna post that red up. No matter whatever you do, we gonna post that red up. That's okay. That's how you know that Rome is Edom, because they got red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yeah, I was gonna like I said on Friday, I was gonna break down that chapter 2 of Jubilees, because they put a hook in there when it comes to when you do a comparison and contrast with the story in Jubilees chapter 2 pertaining to the creation story and what they got in Genesis. So when you understand what these people are doing, when they concocted JC at the Council of Nicaea, they went in and they're telling us that the reason Jesus had to come and the reason why he came was because of the blood. And so he came through. He needed somebody to come down to the earth and be born of a woman, and then be in the flesh and understand the goings on and the things that the day-to-day activities that a man do. So, but his blood is pure, and that blood had to be used to sacrifice it for the whole world. So he had to make you think that it was Adam. Everybody ascended from Adam. One blood. So that's why they hoodwinked Jubilee. I mean, they hoodwinked Genesis chapter 10, telling you that Noah had 3 sons. When actuality is three different men, and all of them got different origins.
Bloodline.
And so Jubilee chapter 2, what they do in Jubilees is they make you think, and this once you understand that, you can see that they took that information and took it to the seminaries, because they want to make you think that when you let me read. Let's go there right quick. I'm just gonna glaze over right quick, but I'm gonna deal with it on Friday. I might deal with it tomorrow, but so Genesis chapter 2, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Genesis 1:26.
So we see right here, plain as day, and God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, and over cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Right? He don't say, and then he says 27. So God created man in his image. In the image God created him, male and female. Created he them. So he created a man and a woman right here. And and another thing you have to understand about it, he don't say nothing about no being no tiller on the ground.
Right.
So this man, he ain't said nothing about no tiller on the ground. Then you get to chapter 2, and then after they keep the Sabbath, pick it up in verse 4. These are the generations of the heaven and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. He's telling you right here. And there was not a man to till the ground. So we see it's another man he need a tiller of the ground. Right? So so what they do in Jubilees is they take that part out, and they go back and say they put Adam in the garden. Adam was created on the 6th day, but he came later and put him in the garden. So that don't make no sense, because let's look at it. It don't make no sense because right here he says in chapter 2 verse 21. Right? You got it?
2 and 21.
The Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh thereof. That's a different man.
Right.
So you say, what are you talking about? Genesis chapter 2 verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward of Eden, and there he put the man who he formed. So he put the man in the garden, this man in the garden before he pulled the woman out of his rib with the rib. So this can't be the man over there in Genesis chapter 1 and 26. So what they doing is these people from the Council of Nicaea, after they concocted JC, Adam, everybody had to come from Adam. So now they went back over there trying to make you think that Adam is the man in Genesis 1:26. They got to connect those dots so you can't see that it's another man that got a whole nother origin from the man that's in Genesis chapter 2.
Right.
Jesus came and died for everybody's blood, which is from the umbilical cord from Adam. So it can't be no man over here with a woman in Genesis 1:26. They gotta make that void.
So how did they make that void?
They tell you in seminary, they say that this right here, Genesis 1:26, when you read it, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Then 27. So he created man in his own image. In the image God created he him, male and female.
Right.
Then they come and tell you Genesis chapter 2, verse 5 and 6 is a rendition.
Yes, that's exactly what they tell us.
So that void the man in Genesis, that void the man he formed.
Yeah, that's exactly what they tell us. That chapter 2. Yeah.
Okay. So anybody else got any questions? But I'm gonna break that all the way down. We're gonna read it and go back and forth, and you're gonna see it. You should already be able to see it now, but anyway, I'm gonna break it down on Friday. So anybody else got anything else?
Is Friday also Q&A?
Yeah. I'm just gonna that's gonna be a connecting the dots.
Okay.
Right. So anybody else got anything else? Okay, appreciate that. So yeah, nobody else have anything? You got no questions of me?
Can you hear Ariane? He's still muted.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So you ain't got no question?
No sir.
Yeah. You can call me, man. If you know, I know you trying to connect those dots. So
Yes, sir. I got and I also got my cousin. He been explaining a lot of the Hebrew Israelites and breaking it down to me also. So
yeah.
that's also
I'm just you know, you get the bind, and you know, the door is open.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to give your cousin a rest and get some season knowledge.
For sure, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit y'all with this line, and I'm gonna see y'all on Friday.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, I lost it. Hold up. Oh, yeah, that way it works. See if I can get this right quick. Just about there.
Yeah, I heard you.
What happened?
I asked that for.
What's that?
Oh no, never mind, never mind.
Get back with you on that.
There he is.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Like I said, you see them bum rush the White House today, so at least you ought to at least get a couple of clothing items and put them in your bag.
Okay.
If you don't feel the whole bag, put a little bit of them in there.
Come on.
Okay.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say shalom to everybody. I'm gonna see y'all Friday.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.